Family. Let's get it.
What's going on, Style Squad? We back.
Yeah. What up?
You already know it's your boy Remo.
It's your girl Nova, and we are the STYLES Familia. We are back for 25 days of style.
Day number 7.
Day 7. How was that today, babe?
That was like opera-like. Like
that was a little bit longer.
They say when the fat ladies sing, but I'm gonna say when the thick ladies sing. Yeah.
That was a little bit longer.
That was like that was incredible. You might really be. You might got something.
I think I'm getting a little bit longer every day. Don't hold me to that then, because y'all gonna be like expecting by day 25 for me to be like
light skin Fantasia. American Idol.
Today we have another dope video for you.
We're going to be talking about holiday stress. This is the holiday season, and as per usual, this holiday stresses. And we're going to talk about it in 7 ways today. 7 ways, guys, to where you can alleviate holiday stress.
Babe, let's let them know what people have told us, what we have found. Even though we don't celebrate holidays, we have in the past. So we know about like stress, and people are always telling us about like the top stressors that are like happen around this time of the year, around the holiday season, babe. So let them know what those stressors are.
Right. So what we found was that people have a lot of unrealistic expectations, and that puts a lot of pressure and stress on individuals, as well as money. Money is also a very big one because it's towards the end of the year. A lot of money has been spent already, you know, so it's the end of the year, you're wrapping up, money's tight. Always is. Travel this time of year is super, super hectic. There's traffic everywhere in malls, highways. Traveling if you're getting flights, super booked. Trains are packed, everything's just out of whack. Travel's crazy. And the lastly is last minute shopping. This causes so much stress. Malls are packed. Things are out of stock online. It's just bad. It's horrible.
It really is. As Babe was saying, those are the top stressors that we have found and other people have shared with us. Some of you, Style Squad, have shared with us around the top stresses during the holiday season. So Babe is going to start us off with letting us know one of the 7 ways that we can alleviate stress during the holiday season.
Right. So number 1, the first thing you should do with anything in life is always make a plan. We talked about how money, travel, unrealistic expectations, and just last minute shopping could be huge stressors. And these are things that you have experienced probably every year since you've been alive. So
celebrating the holidays.
Make a plan, you know? Like plan ahead. You know things are going to get hectic. You know things are going to get crazy. Plan, budget, and just set realistic goals so that you can be able to survive and drive through this time, you know? Like that's really it. Make a plan.
Definitely. I think the biggest thing to start you off is to make that plan around all those things that we're saying, the stressors, right? And so the second thing, thinking about money, because although we said the top stressors, money might be like the top of the top, right? The number 1.
That's what it comes down to, yeah.
So thinking about that and alleviating that top stress is to think about analyzing your finances to create a realistic budget, right? So think about what Babe said. Throughout the whole year, you've already spent so much money, right? So if you haven't planned to budget for this time, now we're at the end of the year thinking about, okay, I have to spend money during this time and buy gifts, right? So create a budget around your finances that you have incoming or outgoing. What bills do you have to pay? What responsibilities do you have? What money do you need to take you into January, right? Because you don't want to be spending all your money on gifts, and now here comes January, you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your mortgage. So really looking at your finances and creating a budget, a realistic budget, and saying, after my bills are paid, after my spouse, my kids, my dogs are taken care of, after everything is good, right? And I have some money in savings, because that's essentially important as well. What do I have left over to work with? And that is your budget to spend on gifts. Whether that be $100 or $100,000, that is your money that you have to spend on gifts, and that's the budget that you stick to. So creating a budget based on your financial situation.
Right, and that kind of ties in to our third point, which is prioritizing where that budget is going to go. Who's going to get majority of that budget? You want to focus on who's going to be prioritized. Immediate family, your outer family, friends. Sit down and take the time to create a chart and say, all right, if I have $1,000, maybe my fiance will get $400 out of that budget. And then my mom will get $200, my dad will get $200, you know, my kids will get, you know, like you have to kind of sit down and just piece it together. And in doing so, you now create a budget, and you also have prioritization on who gets what in the budget. So that alleviates stress in itself, because you're also figuring out where things are going to go, how much is being spent, and that way it's all locked in.
Right, and then, so one of the biggest things I think that financial gurus and the thing that we have learned from them is that you have to tell your money where to go, right? Exactly. So that's using that practice and bringing it into this stressful holiday season and thinking about, I made this list of people I have to buy gifts for. I set my budget. I have this list of people that I have to buy for. I have prioritized and delegated my money. Now I'm putting this money here for this gift, this person, this one for that person. Right. And it kind of contributes to alleviating that stress, as well as those unrealistic expectations that Babe was talking about, right? Because I'm saying my spouse is getting this much money no matter what, and then I have this the rest for everybody else.
Right. And that way you're locked in. That's it. You stick to your budget, stick to your list, and you're good. That's it.
Let's go to number 4.
Take us there, baby.
Right, so thinking about, now we made a plan, we have a budget, we've prioritized and delegated the money for each person, as well as around an idea of how much we're going to spend on those gifts.
Right.
The next thing to think about, according to that plan, is what are those gift ideas for the money I have delegated for that person, right? So if I said I have delegated for my spouse, for Babe, $2,000, now let's think about some gift ideas that can possibly fit into
the realm of $2,000
of that money, right? Because when you're just like randomly buying gifts, now either you've gone over your budget, you spent most of the money on one person's gift, you don't have enough money to spend for the rest. Now you're stressing because of like, oh my gosh, I bought the kids gifts, I bought my husband gifts, I bought my cousin a gift. Now I don't have any money to buy my mom a gift, right? But this allows for you to think about what are some gift ideas to fit into that specific prioritization that I put for this person, so that you're not running into these issues.
Right. And that just helps solve everything and also relieve stress.
Now, take it to the next tip.
The next tip is, believe it or not, to shop in non-traditional ways. And this may sound a little crazy, but hear me out. So typically, people go out to the store, they go away in the line, it's crowded, it's so stressful, right? But we encourage people to shop in non-traditional ways, such as Amazon and even Instagram. We also believe in supporting local businesses, right? So, like, you can get a fly show like this in a department store, but you can also get it on Instagram from your favorite influencer or content creator, right?
Or from your home girl.
Right. Simply on your phone. It's something you use every day. This alleviates so much stress because you kind of have a relationship with this person, and it's like you can order this thing throughout any time of the year and have it stacked for the holiday season.
And then also thinking about what Babe said, like using your resources and access that you have on a daily basis, where you're not going like outside of your daily routine, your daily experiences, just to try to figure out, like, to get those gifts that you have made a plan for, right? We're on our phones all day long. We're on Instagram all day long. So now you can just use that to buy the gifts, as opposed to, like Babe said, going to a store or like trying to go to like another website or stuff like that.
Right.
You're on Instagram anyway, you're on Facebook anyway, whatever you're on.
YouTube, right.
Just utilize those resources that you're already using to buy your gifts.
And let's face it, it's 2022, probably 2023. Everybody knows somebody through somebody who is selling something dope. Like, let's be honest. Support that person, shop in non-traditional ways, relieve that stress.
Yeah. So the next tip is to think about expectations.
Ooh, it's a big one.
Check your expectations in two ways. The first one is like your expectations of thinking about societal pressures around having to get gifts that are like extremely expensive, extremely big,
extremely hard to even get, like
right, especially parents. I feel like oh, I gotta get the latest toy and things like that for my kids.
Things get sold out, like it's
right. But
expensive.
Check your expectations of thinking about you have to like stand up and show up for those particular things. As well as the second part of that is about checking your expectations for yourself and thinking about, oh, that's my best friend. She should be buying me a gift that's expensive, or she should be buying me a gift, period, right? And checking those expectations around that. Maybe that's not gonna happen, right? This is supposed to be about like holiday season and cheer and things like that, and not having the expectations of somebody else is supposed to buy you something, bring you something, come see you, travel to see you,
or even you doing that for another person. Oftentimes, and I always say this, your presence is often the best present you can give to somebody. You know, this is supposed to be a time of like family and love, and like you don't have to come always bearing a super expensive gift. I always say like it's better to come. You can even pick a flower off the road, you know, just like bloop. I'm here, you know what I'm saying? And that in itself is no one will ever forget that. Like, yo, you see the guy who came to a Christmas party with a flower? He's crazy, but they'll always remember that. Like, yo, that was dope. Like,
I think that's a valid point too, babe. Especially thinking about what we said for the second tip, right? About having your budget,
right.
Now, you might get to a point where you're looking at your budget and you're like, I got $5.
Ain't nothing there,
I have $5 to buy 10 people gifts. You know what I'm saying? $5 to buy 10 people gifts. What are you working with?
Right.
That doesn't mean like, go get a new credit card, go into debt. No, I have $5. This is what I'm working with. I'm making cards. Right. I'm getting a flower from the side of the road. I'm like creating cards on a computer, on my phone. Like, get creative, check those expectations, and alleviate that stress.
Write a poem, you know what I'm saying? Like, get artistic with it, you know what I mean? Let's get it.
All right, our next and final
tip. Cater to your needs. Now, that may sound like, oh, okay, that sounds like a Beyonce song, right? But it's very important, right? During the holiday season, it's super stressful again. People are like, oh, do this, do that. Whatever you need to do to get yourself right to even attend an event, you have to do. If you're like a loner, you have like social anxiety, you need a second, spend half the day just by yourself. Spend the days prior by yourself, just listening to music, zoning out. So when you get around family, you're okay, you're tranquil, you're pleasant to be around. You know, you wanna do things for yourself before you get around other people. Take care of yourself first. If you feel like, all right, when I go to these functions, like the food there is bad. Before you go there, pig out. Eat your own, eat some pizza. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do for yourself before you get to these events. If you feel like, and I don't promote this, but if you gotta take a sip of some Henny to get right, get that Henny. Get right.
To go be around your shorty's family.
You know what I'm saying? Don't do that and drive. You know what I'm saying? We don't condone that. You wanna drive, get there first, take a little swig. You know what I mean? And then get right. Yeah.
It's really just thinking about like what Babe said, is catering to your personal needs. Whatever you need to do for you to ensure that you can show up
safely
100% as your most authentic self.
Right.
You need to do that because
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Taking care of self first is the most essential thing. You can't be good for anybody else if you don't take care of yourself first.
Right.
So catering to your personal needs, I think, is one of the most important things to do.
Ever do.
Not only like during the holiday season, the stressful time, but in life.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to be sure to include this tip in the alleviating stress during the holiday season. So let's recap it, right? So we gave you 7 tips to help alleviate stress during the holiday season. The first tip,
make a plan.
The second tip,
analyze your finances and be realistic with your budget.
The third tip,
practice, prioritize, and delegate everything you have that we just worked on prior.
The fourth tip,
the fourth tip is brainstorm dope gift ideas.
Fifth tip,
non-traditional spending resources.
6,
check your expectations.
And 7,
cater to your personal needs.
Yay!
That was good. I remembered all that.
Good job. Style Squad, let us know what, if any, you thought like was a good tip, a favorite tip, one that stood out to you, one that is sticking with you like immediately. Let us know right now in the comments. Don't forget, I was about to say it's day 7, right?
It is 7.
Right, I always get like, I'm like, what day is it? Don't forget, like,
comment, subscribe, share.
Put on your post notifications so when we post a video, it goes like, oops, that's Amelia posted a video.
And don't forget, these tips aren't just for the holidays, they're for life. Like, take this with you like as like your day-to-day. Like, this is like a life kind of tip. Like, you can do this with anything. Like, apply it to your life and holla at me in 30 days.
I also, let us know if you like these kind of videos. Like, this is like our first time doing this kind of like tipsy, not tipsy. These kind of like tip videos and suggestions. This is our first time during like this time of the year, 25 days of style.
We're a little late about it, but you know.
I think it's good timing though. It's pretty good. Only 5 days into December. I guess. Let us know though if you like these kind of videos and if you want us to do more.
Let us know.
And tomorrow is
day number 8.
Yes, join us tomorrow for 25 days of style.
We're going to see you guys in the next one. Love y'all. Peace out.
Thank you.